Yeah, it's Sonichu time. It's Sonichu time. Just let's get it over with. The cover is actually not that bad. It's pretty well drawn and it shows all the main characters standing in action poses. Which is kind of ironic, seeing how, if you actually know what the comic's about, the first half of this issue is nothing but dating advice. Why is everyone's love life all of a sudden a big issue in these comics? Date Ed, even though the idea sounds dated. God, I hate puns, especially bad puns. The comic proper begins with Wild and Punchy going to this place to get an education because Punchy wants to learn how to woo Angelica and Wild just wants to learn how to fall in love. Oh, and hi Zapina and Simonla from the end of issue 8. Say goodbye to Zapina. This is the last time we ever see her in the entire series. Maybe I'll get paired up with a great man. I have a dream of having a boy and nurturing him and loving my hubby. My son's name will be Reginald Sonny. We'll live together like a crappy 50s sitcom. Meanwhile, Punchy confidently thinks, I'm gonna ace this class and wow my Christian angel. And Wild nervously thinks, I'm so nervous my head is paralyzed, it won't turn at all. As the class begins, they say that they'll be practicing on dolls. Ew. And the teacher also says that they have to write an essay about why they're taking the class. How much you want to bet most of the people wrote down in the essay wanted to learn how to get laid? So they take roll call and we're introduced to Reginald, who as far as I can tell is a Sneasel. Which last time I checked, Sneasels are more of a bluish gray than they are a light blue.
This suit is gray. Gray, I would call it blue, okay? It's gray. Alright, it's blue-gray.
And then we're introduced to Ivy, Chris's next fake girlfriend, who Chris was so convinced that they were meant to be, he decides to bring God, and Jesus into the story. Yes, really, we're really going there. Children, I am God. I'm Jesus. Sup. If I go to heaven, I really hope God doesn't say that because I don't want God reminding me of Sonichu. Anyway, since there's a crapload of text, it basically just summarizes how Chris and Ivy were meant to be together. Well, until Chris's next fake girlfriend showed up. Ivy then wakes up from the vision saying, wow! Like she just woke up from an LSD trip, and the entire class is paired up with one another, and to hide their identities, they're given fake screen names. Okay, I'm just gonna say right now, the idea for this class is freaking terrible. I mean, obviously this kind of thing would be so stupid it would never be real, but even if it was real, anonymously pairing students with other anonymous students is a bad idea. There's no interaction between the two other than text talk. I could keep going on about how stupid of an idea this is for a class. Now it's not fair they're not asking any of the students if they're part of an alternate orientation, but let's just keep going. Oh, and South Park reference. Because screw you, that's why. So Wild was paired up with Simonla, Punchy is paired up with Flaffy, Ivy's creation, and Reginald's paired up with someone else, even though he wanted to be paired with Flaffy. And apparently Punchy fell in love with Flaffy shortly after knowing her for a short amount of time. Wow, Dig Dug is such a fun treat. I wish I knew who she was. A 1 out of 7 chance. Wow, some of these are the most unsubtle names ever. Seriously, how did nobody figure out who they were paired up with yet? So Reginald, out of jealousy, messes with Punchy's computer, and Punchy tells Wild to go ask Flaffy out on a date with him. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can't do that. Like, okay, I'm pretty sure that you can't just ask a friend to ask a girl to go date with you, alright? Like, Punchy, if you know who the girl is, just go over and ask her yourself. Simonla finally realizes that Wild was paired up with her, and they both fall madly in love with each other, in some of the crappiest artwork out of the entire series. That's a triumph, I gotta say. Punchy then takes Flaffy out on a date to a McDonald's ripoff. Ah yes, the true place of romance. On a motorcycle. Wait a minute, why would Punchy need a motorcycle? He's a Sonichu. They're the fastest things alive. Why would he need a motorcycle? Well, whatever. At MacD's. Clever. Punchy feeds Flaffy some salad in a panel that looks horribly suggestive.
A sexual innuendo.
Reginald feels sad and alone, but Angelica shows up to comfort him. Please, I'd rather be comforted by Elizabeth Hurley as the devil. Oh, God, she is hot. We then see the three couples sitting together, watching the sunset. Can this really work, Wild? You're electric, I'm ground, you're grass. Sure, who cares? I mean, is it really a bad thing if a grass type and a digging type hook up, or was it some kind of interracial dating thing with Pokemon? And the first half of this comic officially ends with Ivy sitting on the roof of a mall, looking up at the sky, waiting for Chris to return. Say goodbye to Ivy. This is the last time we ever see her in the comic. So, that was the first half of the comic, and it was pretty boring. We'll get ready to be bored some more with the second half. Leading into the second half, we officially are announced that Billy Mays is now a character in Sonichu.
With just 2 easy steps, I can climb over these seats and kick you right in the fucking balls!
The story proper opens with all the lovers waking up in their beds, including Angelica and Reginald waking up in a church. Yeah, Christians don't allow that. In fact, if anything, I think Christians would find that blasphemous. Next page, we see all the villains have officially come together, including Sylvana, Wesley. Oh, hi, Wesley. Haven't seen you since issue 6. and gay Nate Cirque. After that, we see the Sonichu residence, which I still think looks like the Blue's Clues house, and inside... If they start making unholy love right now, I'm just getting the hell out of here. Anyway, Sonichu tells Rosachu some terrible news that, gasp, they have homosexual fans. And to make matters worse, I was quoted wrongfully by a homo in a college somewhere in a paper essay he wrote promoting that choice, which is wrong, because I am again being wrongfully mislabeled as such. And they are dedicating a float of all things in their parade. I know, you know, Christian knows, and everyone should know that I, Sonichu, am straight. I want nothing to do with them and their papers, parades, and God knows whatever else. At all ever. Because with every item they create with my name or face, or Christian's name or face, they again mislabel us. Oh no, the horror. Then Rosachu calms him down by saying that she will assist him in battle. Are we having the same conversation? Seriously, where the hell did that come from? So that looks like, no, you're not doing that. Don't go there. Well, thankfully we're spared of them doing that, as a loud boom goes off. Allison, Chris's secretary, sees that the city is under attack and calls the police, the Power Rangers, and Takeout. Ha! And now, the world's most boring fight scene since Transformers 3. Wild fights a bunch of jerk-offs that takes up 3 pages. Blake and Bubbles take out Decepticons. I would say this is bad fanfiction, but let's face it, it's been bad fanfiction since the beginning. Oh, and this fight scene, yeah, it goes on for 9 pages. Not even kidding. And then we see Magi-Chan fighting Sylvana, and then Wesley calling up Mary Lee Walsh, and then Sonichu turns around and sees Chris's station wagon, which has Chris in it. Okay, no, just stop. Chris is supposed to be stuck in the time void. How the hell is he here all of a sudden? So Chris shows up just to disappear, as his car, as well as a couple other cars, turn into Autobots. Because why not? Because why not? Meanwhile, a building burns down and a Pokemon owner throws her Pokeballs out the window so the Pokemon will be safe. And the Pokemon were owned by Panda Halo, another one of Chris's fake girlfriends. Finding an ex-fake girlfriend was pretty easy. Some of you might be wondering what happened to Ivy, but they'll explain soon enough. Meanwhile, God, how many times have I said that in this review? Sonichu is fighting a Sonichu version of Liquid Chris. For those who don't know, Liquid Chris was a troll pretending to be Chris-chan in joke videos. So Sonichu defeats Liquid by giving him, I don't know, a hit with Thundertail, I'm assuming. And then Rosachu is captured by a Decepticon, as Sonichu is confronted by Robotnik, Giovanni, and Nate Cirque. Let me guess, something that's not Sonichu saves the day, right? Well, I'm right, as a freaking basketball takes out a Decepticon's hand, don't ask, as Bionic and Darkbind join the fight. And then we get a lame fight scene between Nate Cirque and Bionic, as it results in Nate Cirque getting him kicked in the balls, and he craps himself. Ha! Then, as Sonichu runs to fight Mary Lee Walsh, Magi-Chan telepathically tells him about fatalities, one of them being Ivy, who died in an elevator accident. So yeah, Ivy's dead. This just got pretty freaking dark. So to wrap this crap up, Sonichu fights Mary Lee Walsh, Mary almost falls to her death, Sonichu saves her, and his reasoning is because he wants Chris to have the final defeat on her, and the comic ends with everyone posing happily in a group shot. This comic is really freaking boring. The art, most of the time, isn't as bad as it usually is in all these comics, but the entire thing is just one long snore fest. The first half is nothing but love lives that no one really cares about, and the second half is nothing but boring fight scenes that only Michael Bay would find engaging. But oh, there's only one more issue. Issue 12. And we'll talk about that next time on Sonichu Time. But until then, I'm the Media Whiz because Warrant Form wasn't enough. And if you excuse me, I'm going to take the rest of the week off because Halloween's this Saturday and I just want to enjoy the rest of the week until I have to go back to doing crap. So yeah, have a happy Halloween, folks. It's a little early, but have a happy Halloween. If you need me, I'm just going to take the rest of the week off.
I don't ever wanna be you. Don't wanna be just like you. All what I'm saying is this is the anthem for